Living podcast. I'm your host, Nicoleta Talpes, and in this episode of our special series AI for a Sustainable Future, we will explore how AI is shaping society itself, from the way we learn and work to the way we build trust, inclusion, and resilience in a fast-changing world. My guest today is someone who brings not only technical expertise but also vision and purpose to this space. Fredrik Heintz, Professor of Computer Science at Linköping University, Chair of the European AI Research Network CLARE, and a leading voice in AI education and trustworthy technology development. Fredrik Heintz, welcome to the Sustainable Living podcast.
Thank you very much.
You've been active in research, education, and policy development at both national and European levels. For those who may not know you yet, what should people understand about your journey and experience in the AI field, and why it matters today?
Yeah, no, it's an interesting question. I think AI is very interesting because it's so broad and that it involves so many different areas. So in some sense, when I started, I didn't know if I wanted to do mathematics, computer science, or cognitive science. But in AI, you get an opportunity and a chance to actually combine many different research fields. So that's one thing that I personally find very interesting. I also find that when you do research and development within AI, you're actually touching upon basically most aspects of society. So for example, one thing is that we study multi-agent systems, how to create an efficient and effective organization, and how we're to kind of implement different roles and different responsibilities, how should you communicate, and so on. So basically everything that you need to do in a human organization, you also can study within this more kind of artificial AI world, or agentic world in that case. So that's some reasons why I think it's very interesting to work on AI.
You've often spoken about AI not just as a tool, but as a transformative force. How do you see AI transforming the way we live, the way we work in the next, let's say 5 years? Because 10 years, it might seem too much, right? Both globally and in Sweden, of course.
So one important aspect here is that AI is what we call a general purpose technology, which means it's a technology which changes all other technologies. So I really believe that AI will have a broad impact on society. It's not only within some particular, say, technical field or one particular application area, but it's really having this broad societal impact. So some of the things I expect is, of course, when it comes to work, we are starting to see that people are starting to use, or employees are starting to use AI as a tool to help them, for example, doing programming tasks or doing research work and so on. So it's starting to be used mostly on the individual level. So one thing that I find very interesting and I think will happen going forward is this: how do we introduce and use this on the organizational level? What does it mean that a team or a company or an organization is using AI, not only as individuals, but as an organization at whole, and what are the consequences of that? So I do expect that there will be transformations, changes to both the way we work, what competences are needed, and how companies will organize themselves. And speaking about the future, now there are people starting to think about how could we create a one-person unicorn, that basically you only have one employee and the rest is more AI-based, but still you can reach the level of a unicorn company. And actually, I think this points towards one of these changes or transformations that I do expect, and that's that many of us will be managers of teams of agents that help us carry out things. And through these agents that we have access to, then we can actually get much more things done. So I think we can hopefully significantly improve productivity and also help us solve really complex challenges that we are facing both as nations and as mankind.
Education systems everywhere are under pressure to evolve, and yet AI presents both a challenge and an opportunity. What do you think is the most effective way to integrate AI education at all levels?
I think integrating AI in education is both important and actually challenging and difficult. So we have experience from introducing programming in a wide variety of different education programs. And one thing that we learned there was that just introducing a course in programming in that case did not really make much difference. If you want the students to really pick it up and learn it, you have to use it and apply it. So of course you need some kind of basic course, but then you also need to use it in other courses, and if you have project courses or elsewhere, so that it not only becomes like a passive knowledge, but rather an active tool that you can use. And so I think that's one challenge. I think the second challenge is that uh, different kind of subjects, different professions, and so on, they will need different things. So if you're going to be an engineer, then of course you need to know about the machine learning techniques and how to implement and apply them. But if you're a lawyer, then you probably don't need that. Then you need to understand, how does this influence law? How can I use this as a I mean, what are the limitations? What are the kind of risks associated with that? How do I become an effective lawyer using an AI tool? Or if I'm working in HR, how do I use it there? So I really think that, I mean, we have a lot of experience in educating engineers and the kind of technical side of AI. So that we've been doing for a long time. But the challenge is really, how do we scale this out to all the other professions and all the other subjects and disciplines? And there, I think we really need to have a structured learning, because I don't think anyone today knows exactly what's needed and how to teach it. But I think by systematically trying things out in courses, in different programs at different kind of educational levels, and then sharing what works and what does not work, then we together can quicker identify what are effective and constructive ways of actually educating people about AI. So one concrete example is that we have been working with AI literacy. So here we are targeting the primary education. So what does everyone need to know about AI in order to be a critical but still active user of AI? So I think this is one area where we're seeing a lot of developments, and hopefully we will see that being picked up by school systems, so that we really can make sure that the coming generations have the appropriate skills and competences in order to take effectively use AI, but still be a critical and aware user, so that we just don't kind of passively use it and let it replace us, but rather that we can be in control and take advantage of this as very powerful tools.
There's a growing concern that AI could worsen existing inequalities between countries, between generations, and even individuals. So how can we assure that AI development and education remain inclusive and equitable?
So first of all, I fully agree with this statement. I think to me, actually, this is one of my main concerns. So how do we, because I mean, AI, I would argue in general, acts as a multiplier, which means that if you already have a very good background and so on, you have good opportunities, then you can really very quickly become extremely successful using AI as a multiplier. But that also means that the relative difference towards those that might not have the same opportunities will be much larger. So I do think this is an important challenge. And I think the number one, I mean, for me, the number one approach is, of course, education, because I mean, school is supposed to be leveling the playing field, so that it doesn't matter what background you have, what parents you have, and so on, but actually that everyone should have the same opportunity. So education is absolutely crucial there. But of course, most people have already left school, so there we will need to do other types of efforts in order to really make sure that AI benefits all. So one thing that we have been proposing when I was part of this Swedish AI Commission was that we basically need to make AI tools available to everyone so that everyone can try them out, experiment, and try to learn what is useful for me and how can I use this for my own purposes and so on. So I really think this is one aspect to kind of make tools easily accessible. I also believe in providing education for the broad general public. So in Sweden, we have this course Elements of AI that was developed by University of Helsinki, but that's now available in Swedish. And that is actually a very popular course. So I think more than 80,000 people have started that, and more than 11,000 have received university credits for this course. So actually, it's 0.1% of the population. So it's quite significant. But still, we have 99.9% of the population to go. But still, those are some concrete steps that are being taken. But I definitely think it's super important that we raise the general AI awareness and that we actively work towards making sure that AI works for everyone.
Sweden is seen as a leader in digital innovation, and someone, as you mentioned, is leading key initiatives in Sweden's AI ecosystem. What aspects of Swedish approach do you believe could serve as a model internationally?
So, I mean, I think one thing we're very good at is this kind of collaboration between academia, industry, and kind of policy or government levels, so that we do have a very open way of communicating and collaborating. I definitely think that's a strength, especially in an area where AI will actually, I strongly believe that it's all about building ecosystems and making sure that different parts of the ecosystems are reinforcing and supporting each other. But I also think this, I mean, we're talking about trustworthy AI and this kind of more ethical aspect. So I do think this Swedish values or Nordic values is something that we should be proud of and something that we should kind of build upon, and making sure that we are not only developing technically sophisticated and useful AI technology, but we're also doing it aligned with our values, and which also, of course, is very well aligned with the European approach. So that's a second thing. A third thing that I also think is that we should try to kind of strengthen the industry sectors and the kind of sectors where we already are strong. So, for example, building this kind of complex hardware, software systems like telecom systems and cars and airplanes and so on and so forth. I think it's important that the Swedish industry is able to leverage this and stay competitive in a global context.
If you could design a global AI for society manifesto, what three principles or commitments would you include to ensure technology enhances human well-being and sustainability?
Yeah, that's a very challenging question. In some sense, I think we have already touched upon some of these things. I mean, I do definitely think that this AI should be for everyone. I think that's a very important principle. I also think that AI should complement, not replace people. That it should really be something that we use to our benefit. It's not something that replaces us. I also think that humans should be in control. And actually, I think this will be harder than we might expect, because I think it's easy to get, or say, lazy or comfortable and basically just do whatever the AI system recommends us to do. But I actually think this is a really crucial part, that we actively stay in control. I also think we should make sure that AI is used for good, that it's something that on the kind of total or net effect is positive towards society. I think it probably will be difficult to make sure that it benefits each and every individual. So I'm sure there will be some, unequal distribution of benefits and cost here, but I think overall we need to make sure that it really benefits society. And I mean, you take this sustainability, what I think is important is that we're not only looking at the kind of short-term gains or risks for that matter, but also take into consideration more long-term aspects. And I mean, we know from research that even though technology develops rapidly, and that it may feel like something is going extremely quickly. If you're looking at diffusion of technology into society, it still seems to take like 30, 40 years before it really has penetrated all of society. So I really think we should take a long-term sustainable view on this. And we should invest in education and skills. So, I mean, I think this kind of competence part is also a very important principle. And I think that also reinforces this both AI for all, but also that it's complementing us rather than replacing us. So I think those are some of the things that I would include. I'm sure I think these are on the top of my head at least.
Fredrik Heintz, thank you so much for your time and for your insight you've shared with us today at Sustainable Living Podcast.
Thank you very much.